Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Transfer Portal YouTube channel presented by NoContextCFB. We've had one weekend of college football. You know what that means. We need to talk about a little bit of NFL draft. I'm going to talk about two prospects, one offensive, one defensive, one very, very early round, and one maybe not so much, but maybe we'll see that in the future. I want to talk about them. I want to talk about their performances this last weekend, and I want to see what they do over the future. We'll start off across the pond, one Peter Skoronski. I think that this guy, man, he could end up being a top 5 pick with how good he is. Let's start off with his high school career. Amazing in high school. He had somewhere around 173 pancakes. That's a lot of syrup needed. State champion, all state, all titles, all conferences, whatever you can get in high school for football, Peter Skoronski got it. He was a 3-sport athlete: football, basketball, track. This dude did it all. Now he's doing it for Northwestern. He was the 4th highest ranked recruit for the Northwestern Wildcats. That's very impressive, and you can see it on the field. Amazing run blocker, was one of the biggest reasons they were able to be so good on the ground. Evan Hull probably had to buy him a steak dinner after the game with how much he helped them on the ground against the defensive line that a lot of people assumed, hey, Nebraska, they got a lot of talent in the transfer portal. They got new defensive coaching. This should be a much improved unit. Well, it wasn't. And maybe they weren't. Maybe it was just Peter Skoronski locking them down. I would probably bet on both, but more so on the lines of Peter Skoronski because he is that big of a behemoth. Now, he may not actually be a behemoth in size. He's only about 6'4", 315, but he uses every inch, every pound of that and makes him seem like a forklift. He's forklift certified, and he moves people like a forklift. Now, that's his run game, but if we want to get really deep into it, his pass blocks are insane. 39 pass blocking snaps, no pressure, no sacks, obviously, because if you give up no pressures, you're not going to give up a sack. He was stellar in the Nebraska game. He was the best player on the football field. I don't care if you think, oh, it has to be Helinski, it has to be Hull, it has to be some of these guys that put points on the board. No. Skoronski was the best player on the football field. We need to start giving these offensive linemen the respect that they deserve. They can be the best player on the football field. It's not often we see it because we'll look at, a lot of people will look at box scores. And well, we don't do that here at the transfer portal. We look at the football field. We see who's the best player. Peter Skoronski was the best player for Northwestern that day, and obviously the best player in that game was going to be on Northwestern because they won. We know it's definitely not going to come from Scott Frost's side, but this isn't a rant about him. I've probably had 7 of those already. Skoronski, I think, with his performance against Nebraska, top 5 pick is potential. I don't think it's locked in because we still have a lot of football games to play, and there's a lot of other talented tackle prospects. Paris Johnson from Ohio State in the same conference. They're going to probably not face off against each other on the same field because they're both tackles. And I don't think we'll see Paris Johnson line up on the defense side, nor do I think we'll see Skoronski. Those are 2 high-rated tackle prospects that a lot of people are going to be talking about throughout the next few months. Peter Skoronski from Northwestern, projected top pick. Now let's go to a guy who, not in Northwestern, he's at Florida A&M. Now, you may think, well, Florida A&M didn't win against UNC. They played dang well, though. They scored 24 points against a power team, and the defense was actually pretty impressive for giving up 56 points. Look, we can talk all we want about UNC won, but FAMU was actually more impressive, in my opinion, especially in that first half. Drake May, he's a talented quarterback. We're going to talk about him in the future. Didn't start off great, and it's because of the Florida A&M defense. And one of the guys I want to talk about is Kim-Money King, an Iowa State transfer at safety. Now, you may see him at corner. You may see him at safety. I view him a little bit more as a safety, and here's why. This dude wants to hit you. This dude wants your face mask to be filled with turf. He wants to put you on the ground. He wants to make sure you know that he is on top of you, and he's going to make you feel pain. This guy is a hard hitter, a tackler. He's going to get his face in the run game, and he's going to make sure you are not getting extra yards after he puts his hands on you. Now, with all that being said, I said he's not an early round prospect for a few reasons. Number one, being an aggressive tackler as a safety in the run game is very good. The problem is when you are aggressive, you do have the ability to be more prone to mistakes. Aggressive safeties will sometimes find themselves missing tackles, maybe not fully wrapping up. They're going to have those as aggressive safeties. That's something you can develop. You can be a better tackler. You can make sure you put the guy on the ground, or at least make sure he doesn't have more forward progression so that you have more teammates flooding towards the ball. That's stuff that you can build off of. That's not something that's like, oh my gosh, this is going to make him undraftable. No, that's stuff you can build off of. Now, what some people may view as, oh, I can't do that, is his frame. He's 5'10, 175. If you know me, you know I do not care about safety frame. One of my favorite players of all time, and you can ignore this logo, is Antoine Winfield Jr. The part that he has, the way that he plays football as a 5'9" safety was unmatched. And people wanted to write him off because he was 5'9". Now he's one of the better defensive backs in the NFL. I believe he was 75th in the NFL top 100, and he should have been higher, in my opinion. He is that good. I'm not going to compare Kamani King to an NFL safety like Antoine Winfield, but I'm just trying to use it as an example. Hey, let's not write off a guy because he's not 6'4". I mean, how many amazing safeties in the NFL are 6'4"? We had so many talented smaller safeties in the NFL. Antoine, Earl Thomas. We never talk about Earl Thomas as, a short guy because of stuff that happened after he left Seattle. Earl Thomas was one of the best safeties in the NFL when he was in Seattle. Let's stop writing off smaller guys and let's actually look at the field. And when he comes in the pass game, Kamani King, he's able to make plays on the ball. He's able to punch it out. He's able to get his hands on the ball. He's able to make sure that he uses the sideline as a second defender, if a ball's coming towards him on the corner pylon. He has great awareness, and I think that this is a guy we need to watch when we're watching Florida A&M, because with how they performed against UNC, we need to be watching more Florida A&M. I want to thank you all for watching. Those are two prospects. We're going to be doing this every week, one offensive, one defensive NFL draft prospect to keep your eyes out on throughout the rest of the season going into the pre-draft process. My name is Andrew Wilson. Make sure to follow T-Portal-CFB on Twitter and Trooster and Men on Twitter if you feel so inclined. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, comment other guys that you want us to talk about when we're doing these NFL draft stuff, because we're going to be doing a lot. We're going to have college football content throughout the year, but those months, January, February, March, April, we are NFL draft centric. We are NFL Draft Center. Make sure you subscribe for that. Follow everybody's Twitter. Thank you. Have a good day.